Hi, I'm Dhera. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm showing you how to make classic bakery style pineapple pastries. So let's get started. Let's start by making the pineapple compote for the filling. We'll add chopped pineapple to a pan, followed by sugar and water. We'll start cooking this on medium flame. Keep stirring in intervals so that the pineapple doesn't burn or stick to the bottom. We will cook this on medium flame until all the water gets evaporated. It will take about 15 to 20 minutes for the compote to cook. Once it gets dry, take it off the heat. Our homemade pineapple compote is now ready. You can use this for all your pineapple cakes and pastries. You can store this pineapple compote in the fridge for about 7 to 8 days and in the freezer for up to 1 month. Now let's start making the vanilla sponge. In a bowl, take yogurt. I'm using homemade dahi, but you can also use the store-bought one. To this, add caster sugar. You can also grind regular sugar and use it. Whisk it until the sugar dissolves. Now add in the oil and whisk again. Now we will sieve in the dry ingredients. Take maida, corn flour, baking powder, baking soda and salt. Sift them together. Many people ask me why I add corn flour in most of my cake recipes, and that's because corn flour absorbs moisture, hence making our cake softer. But if you don't have that, you can skip it. Whisk it until there are no lumps of flour. Now I'm adding vanilla essence, but if you have pineapple essence, you can add that. Lastly, add water and fold it in using a spatula. Take a cake tin and brush it well with oil. Make sure to cover all the sides properly. Put in a sheet of baking paper and pour in the cake batter. Level the top using an offset spatula. For the baking, take a kadai and cover the base with salt. This is regular salt, but it has turned brown because I have been using this since many years for baking. When you are done with the baking, let the salt cool down and store it for your next bake. Put a small plate so that the salt doesn't touch the cake mold directly. Cover this using a bigger plate and put it on high flame for 7 to 8 minutes for preheating. We cover the base of the kadai with salt for even baking. Salt absorbs the heat from the flame and gently cooks the cakes. Preheat the kadai at high flame for about 7 to 8 minutes. Turn the flame to medium and let the cake cook for 25 to 30 minutes or until a skewer comes out clean when inserted. If you want to bake it in an oven, preheat the oven at 170 degrees Celsius and continue to bake at the same temperature for about 25 to 30 minutes. The kadai has been on high flame for the past 7 to 8 minutes. Now I will carefully put the cake mold in and turn the flame to medium. Continue to cook at medium flame. After 25 minutes, check by inserting a knife or toothpick in the middle, and if it comes out clean, your cake is done. And if it comes out with batter or crumbs, continue to bake for a few extra minutes and check again. When your knife comes out clean, carefully take the cake out. You have to let the cake completely cool down before cutting it into layers. After the cake completely cools down, run a knife through the edges and carefully demold it. We have to cut this cake into 3 equal layers. You can see that this cake is super soft and fluffy. Let me show you how you can always cut straight layers for your cake. We will keep the knife straight and start rotating the cake. In the first round, we are just marking the cake sponge from all sides. Then start moving the knife in a chainsaw manner while still rotating the cake. The key point is to hold the knife straight for straight cake layers. For the top layer, I am just trimming the excess so the layer is straight. Now let's whip some cream for the filling. I'm using sweetened non-dairy cream, so I'm not adding any extra sugar in it. Start beating it at low speed for a couple of minutes. You should always make sure that your whipping cream is chilled when you start beating it. Increase the speed to maximum and continue to whip until you get stiff peaks. Let's fill a piping bag with whipped cream for the layering. I'll be using milk for soaking the cake sponge. Soaking is very important so our layers don't feel dry. You can also use water instead of milk to soak the cake layers. If you're using milk for the soaking, the shelf life of the pastries will be about 3 to 4 days in the fridge, and if you're using water, the shelf life will be about 5 days in the fridge. Step 1 of making any cake is the layering of the sponge, so let's start with that. Put a little whipped cream at the base so that the cake doesn't slip off. Start with the bottom layer and soak it well with milk. If you don't have a brush, you can also use a spoon. Make sure to cover the entire surface. Now we will evenly put a layer of whipped cream. After one layer of whipped cream, we will make a well for the filling by covering the edges with the whipped cream. Put half of the pineapple compote evenly. Now we will fill the gaps with just a little more cream. We can also use a spoon to put the cream and then spread it, but the piping bag helps us to put the filling evenly so the layer is as straight as possible. If the layer of the filling is straight, the layer of cake which we will put on top of that will be straight as well, resulting in a straight cake. We'll repeat this process for one more layer. Put the last layer and soak it well. After layering, step 2 is crumb coating the cake. For the crumb coating, we will put whipped cream on the sides, spread it using a palette knife and then take off the excess of the cream. I am taking off the excess cream and putting it on top of the cake. Make sure to fill all the gaps between the layers and make the surface as smooth as you can. Cover the top with cream as well and spread it evenly. In this step, we have to cover the entire cake surface with cream. Now use a scraper to take the excess cream out. Make sure to hold it at an angle of 90 degrees so that the sides of the cake are straight. Keep this in the fridge for 30 minutes to let the cream set. Many people like to skip this step and directly do the final coating of the cake, but I don't recommend that because crumb coating helps to pack all the loose crumbs of the cake inside, resulting in a neater final finish. We have to let this set in the fridge for minimum 30 minutes before moving on to the third step of final coating. After the crumb coat sets, start applying cream using a palette knife. After covering the sides, cover the top as well and start spreading the cream from the middle towards the edges. Once the cake is fully covered with cream, I'm using a scraper with a zigzag pattern to remove the excess cream. If you don't have this, you can use a normal scraper. Now I'm cutting this into 6 equal pastries. Some swirls using a star nozzle for the final touches along with a cherry and a piece of pineapple. These pastries are light, super soft and just perfect. Pineapple pastries have always been one of my favorites and I can't wait for you to try them out because I'm sure you're gonna love it. Give this video a thumbs up if you liked it and please subscribe to my channel. I'll see you in the next video. Happy baking and bye.